Picture a swan gliding across a lake, serene, graceful, seemingly effortless. Its feathers are unruffled, its movements smooth, and to anyone watching, it appears to embody perfect calm. The swan is a symbol of tranquility, admired for its poise and beauty as it floats along, undisturbed by the world around it. But beneath the surface, hidden from view, its feet are paddling furiously, working tirelessly to keep up the illusion of ease. There's a constant, unseen effort that no one notices unless they look deeper. This is the reality of high-functioning anxiety: calm on the outside, chaos within. You might look composed, collected, and in control, but inside, your mind is racing, your heart is pounding, and you're fighting a battle no one else can see. You might be the reliable friend, the organized parent, the high achiever everyone admires. You're the one people turn to for help, the one who always seems to have it together, the one who never lets anyone down. But inside, there's a relentless pressure to keep up, to never let anyone see the struggle. You worry that if you falter, even for a moment, everything you've built will come crashing down. The fear of being exposed, of being seen as less than perfect, keeps you pushing forward. Society rewards the results: early arrivals, flawless work, endless dedication, without ever asking about the cost. The late nights, the skipped meals, the constant self-doubt are invisible, overshadowed by your achievements. The sleepless nights, the racing heart, the exhaustion remain invisible. When the world is quiet and you're alone with your thoughts, the weight of it all settles in. You lie awake, replaying the day, worrying about tomorrow, wondering if you're doing enough. We learn to hide the frantic paddling, to smile when we want to crumble, to take on more when we're already overwhelmed. We become experts at masking our struggles, convincing everyone, including ourselves, that we're fine. We fear that if anyone saw the effort, they'd see us as weak. So we keep our worries locked away, afraid of judgment, afraid of disappointing those who believe in us. So we keep going, hoping no one notices the ripples beneath our surface. But I see you. I see the courage it takes to keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible. I see the effort it takes to keep moving. Every day you show up, you try your best, and you keep going, even when you're running on empty. And it's time to talk about what's really happening beneath the water. It's time to acknowledge the struggle, to give yourself permission to feel, to rest, to ask for help. Because that's where the real courageous story lies. Not in the perfection others see, but in the strength it takes to keep going, to keep paddling, even when no one is watching. You're not alone in this hidden struggle. There are others who understand, who have felt the same pressure, the same fear, the same exhaustion. Let's look beneath the surface together. Let's start the conversation and remind ourselves that it's okay to ask for support. The struggle may be hidden, but you don't have to face it alone. Maybe you're the one everyone turns to in a crisis, the calm, organized, always on top of it person. You're the steady hand when things get rough, the voice of reason when others panic. People rely on you to keep things moving, to solve problems before they even arise. It's almost as if you've mastered the art of composure, and from the outside, it looks effortless. Your desk is tidy, your emails prompt, your calendar color-coded. Every detail is accounted for, every task checked off with precision. You pride yourself on being prepared for anything, always anticipating what's next. People say, "I don't know how you do it all." They marvel at your ability to juggle so many responsibilities, to stay so composed under pressure. Compliments come your way, and you smile, nodding, even as you wonder if they'd say the same if they knew how hard you work to keep it together. But that order is a shield against chaos. The neatness, the routines, the structure, they're not just habits, but lifelines. They're the invisible armor you wear to keep the uncertainty at bay. Every prompt reply, every perfect plan, is a defense against the fear of letting someone down. You check and double-check, always alert, always ready to respond. The smallest mistake feels like a threat, so you work twice as hard to avoid it. The calm exterior is a mask. Inside, your heart pounds with the weight of responsibility. You carry the silent burden of expectation, afraid that if you slip, everything will unravel. The anxiety simmers beneath the surface, hidden from view. High-functioning anxiety doesn't paralyze, it propels. It pushes you to keep moving, to keep achieving, to never let your guard down. You're always in motion, always striving for the next accomplishment, hoping it will finally bring relief. The fear of failure drives you to work harder, achieve more, never let up. You stay late, take on extra projects, and say yes when you want to say no. The pressure to perform is relentless, and rest feels like a luxury you can't afford. From the outside, it looks like ambition and dedication. People see your achievements and assume you're thriving, that you're motivated by passion and drive. They don't see the anxiety that fuels your every move. But it's not joy that fuels you. It's the terror of falling short. The fear of disappointing others, of not living up to expectations, keeps you pushing forward even when you're exhausted. The world applauds your confidence, but with every round of praise, the pressure mounts. Each compliment is a reminder that you have to keep performing, keep proving yourself, keep wearing the mask. The mask gets heavier. The need for perfection grows. You start to wonder if you can keep up, if you can keep hiding the anxiety that drives you. You're trapped in a cycle. Anxiety drives achievement. Achievement brings praise. Praise demands more perfection. The cycle spins faster, and you're caught in its grip, unable to step off. You look like you're winning, but inside, you're barely surviving. The contrast between your public persona and your private struggles grows sharper with each passing day. The gap between how you're seen and how you feel grows wider. It's as if you're living two lives, one for the world and one that only you know. And that isolation is its own kind of pain. Even surrounded by people, you can feel completely alone, longing for someone to see past the mask and understand the struggle beneath. High-functioning anxiety means a mind that never stops. Every conversation is replayed, every word analyzed for mistakes. What if I mess up? What if I'm late? What if I let someone down? To others, it looks like you're just a great planner. But inside, you're bracing for disaster, living in a state of constant alert. You double-check everything, never miss a deadline, always arrive early, not out of passion but out of fear. This looks like responsibility, but it's really a coping mechanism. The irony? The more you try to control the future, the more anxious you become. Saying no feels impossible. Every request, big or small, brings a surge of pressure to say yes, even when you're overwhelmed. You fear disappointing others, so you take on more, sacrificing your own needs. People-pleasing becomes your armor. If everyone's happy, maybe you'll be safe from criticism. Each yes chips away at your energy and sense of self. Your life fills with obligations that aren't truly yours. People see generosity, not the cost. Learning to say no isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. Perfectionism is a cage, not a badge of honor. For someone with high-functioning anxiety, good enough doesn't exist. 99% feels like failure. Every tiny flaw is magnified. You redo tasks endlessly, not for excellence, but to avoid judgment. The inner critic never rests, always pointing out what's lacking. This constant self-criticism is exhausting and robs you of pride in your achievements. Perfectionism seeps into every area: work, home, even relaxation. There's no room for mistakes or being average. In trying to be flawless, you deny yourself compassion. The real trap: you forget how to simply be. Wearing the "I'm fine" mask is deeply exhausting. Every task, every interaction requires extra emotional labor. Unlike other forms of anxiety, high-functioning anxiety drives you to overachieve, not avoid. You run toward challenges, desperate to prove your worth. The logic: if I just achieve more, maybe I'll finally feel calm. But the finish line keeps moving. Achievement brings only fleeting relief. Anxiety latches onto the next goal. You end up on a hamster wheel, running faster, never finding peace. Over time, you lose touch with your authentic self. Your value becomes tied to productivity, not who you truly are. In a world that never seems to pause, it can feel impossible to slow down. The constant rush, the endless to-do lists, and the pressure to always be productive can leave us feeling drained and disconnected from ourselves. The first step is making space for intentional rest, not just collapsing at the end of the day, but true, restorative rest that nourishes your mind and body. This kind of rest is about giving yourself permission to pause, to breathe, and to simply be, without guilt or distraction. Schedule it like any important meeting. Block out time in your calendar, set reminders, and treat it as non-negotiable. When you prioritize rest, you send a powerful message to yourself that your well-being matters. Rest can take many forms: A quiet cup of tea, a gentle walk outside, or simply sitting still and letting your thoughts settle. It might be reading a book, listening to calming music, or just enjoying a moment of silence. It's uncomfortable at first. Your inner critic will protest, insisting you should be doing something useful. You might feel restless or even guilty for taking a break. But rest is an act of defiance against the culture of busyness. It's a way to reclaim your time and energy, to remind yourself that you are more than your productivity. Start small. 5 minutes of breathing, a few moments of stillness, or a short meditation. Even brief pauses can make a difference. Take a short break to recharge. Protect that time fiercely, as you would any other commitment. Turn off notifications, step away from screens, and allow yourself to fully unwind. You wouldn't expect your phone to work on an empty battery. Why expect it of yourself? Just as your devices need to recharge, so do you. By resting, you teach yourself it's safe to slow down. Over time, you'll discover that intentional rest isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for a more balanced, fulfilling life. The next brave step is embracing good enough. This isn't about being sloppy. It's about letting go of the need for flawlessness. Try doing something averagely. Send an email without over-editing. Cook a simple meal. Submit a B+ project. Notice the anxiety, but also notice that nothing terrible happens. The world doesn't end. You're still respected and loved. Give yourself the grace you'd offer a friend. Not every task deserves your absolute best. By right-sizing your effort, you free up energy and rediscover joy. Good enough isn't a compromise. It's a compassionate way to live. Perfection isn't required for belonging. The most powerful step is reaching out, sharing your story with someone you trust. High-functioning anxiety is isolating because it's hidden. But shame can't survive empathy. Choose someone who will listen without judgment, a friend, partner, or therapist. The goal isn't to fix anything, just to be seen and heard. Even a simple, "I look calm, but I'm often anxious inside," can be a relief. Sharing your struggle invites connection and breaks the cycle of silence. You'll often find you're not alone in your paddling. True community is built on vulnerability, not perfection. Connection is the antidote to shame. Remember, your worth isn't in what you do or achieve. You are worthy of love and rest simply because you exist. Unlearning high-functioning anxiety is a slow, gentle journey. Celebrate the courage it takes to rest, to say no, to be imperfect. There's no finish line, just a lifelong practice of returning to yourself. If this resonates, know you're not alone. There's a community of us, learning to show our paddling feet. Vulnerability is courage, not weakness. There is hope in connection and shared stories. Be gentle with yourself. You are enough, just as you are. The world needs the real, wholehearted you.